We are starting with our third lesson of Zohar. The page 1, the left column, the line 16, we are going on with the commentary of Hasulam. Rabbi Chizkiya Fatach Beviur Hanukva de Zeiranpin 17 Levaer Seder Atziluta Mi-ima Shehi Habina Hanikra. The next page, page B, page Bet, page 2. 2 is, we see it on the right side, on the right corner above, we see the number and the letter Bet. And Bet is 2. The right column of Hasulam, the line 1, Bashem Elokim. We are turning back to the previous page, the left column, the line 16. Rabbi Chizkiya Patach Beviur Hanukva de Zeiranpin. And Rabbi Chizkiya started with the Beviur, with the explanation of the Nukva of the Zeiranpin. I will just explain it. 17. Levaer, to explain, Seder Atziluta Mi-ima, the order, the order, the here way, the way of her creation out of the Ima. Shehi Habina, the Ima, that she is the Bina. Hanikra, that the name of which is the Hanikra Bashem Elokim, that is called, the next page, the page Bet, the right column, the right column of Hasulam, line 1. Bashem Elokim, Bina, that is called in the name of Elokim. Point. I'm sure that it's mixed up everything in the minds of my new English students, because a lot of information that we don't have the knowledge and the feeling for what we are now doing. He calls the name of Zeiranpin and Ima the names of spiritual objects, spiritual powers, I would say, that are structured in the tree of life, and we must learn a little bit more about this. Let's finish this fragment, and then I will try to explain a little bit more about it. The page B, the right column, the line 1 after the point. Vezehu shepatach u bier hashoshana. 2. Shehi hanukva de zeiranpin. Vezehu shepatach, and that's why he started Bebiur Shoshana with the explanation of the Shoshana. To Shehi Hanukva de Zeiranpin, that she is the Nukva, the feminine part of the Zeiranpin. The Zeiranpin, I will explain it. Zeiranpin is the name of the name. I will just explain it. Point. Vanukva de Zeiranpin. Ba'et 3 Gadluta Nikret Bashem Knesset Yisrael. Kmo she echtov for lehalan. Vezehu sheomer man Shoshana da Knesset 5 Israel. Point. 2 after the point. Ve'anukva the Zeiranpin, and the Nukva, the feminine of the feminine part of the Zeiranpin. Ba'et Gadluta, in the time of her great large condition, large state, Nikret Bashem Knesset Israel, is called Knesset Israel, the community of Israel, and in Hebrew it is in the name of Knesset Israel, in the name of the community of Israel. And so that's, I will just explain it. Kmo she'echtov lahalan, as it will be written later, beneath, for Vezehu shomer, and that's what he says. Man Shoshana, who is Shoshana? And he answers, Da Knesset Yisrael, that is Knesset Yisrael, the community of Israel. Huh? Gathering, yes, gathering community, but I know they translate it as community, and I translate it more in gathering. Why? It's because otherwise the student will project it on the community, on the group of people, whereas the Zohar doesn't speak about the material things and even the people, groups of people, the countries, etc. And we must slowly, step by step, tune ourselves to learn and to receive the ability to feel, to understand properly the spiritual information. In our world, is it as if it is something normal? Everyone says, I study something spiritual. People think that they can just by opening a book, they can enter the spirituality. It's only my wish. If I would like, I would do it. In such a way they think. I don't have time, but should I have time, I would buy several books, and I would read them, and I would understand, and I would feel the spirituality. It's not correct. It's not quite correct. Why? Because a person who starts, who wants to study about the structure of the worlds, spiritual worlds, means all the levels, the different levels of the tree of life, like we call it. One needs to suit himself with this, as we call it, frequencies of the spiritual waves, and this must grow. So don't try to understand it immediately, because if you say, oh yes, I understand it, then it's something wrong in your study. I studied Zohar for a couple of years, and it is a full study of Zohar, what I'm doing. And still, every day when I'm studying, I'm filled with uncertainties. Uncertainties, not uncertainties that it is uncertainties in the way of that my attitude is not to say to myself that I understand and to get kick of it, or to feel that I understand something. The attitude must be as you have when you sitting behind the table and you are eating something. Yes, when you are eating, you don't examine what you eat. You examine, of course, but you don't speak about this, about the calories, about all other things. You taste the food. This is the most important thing. The same is when we learning Zohar. You just try to taste it. If you don't feel the taste, even if you don't feel the taste, you make yourself hungry for the Zohar, what you're learning. How can you make you hungry for something what you don't feel, what you don't experience? You must go what we are saying in the Kabbalah, lemala mihadat, above your comprehension. Still, every time when you are studying the Zohar, go above your comprehension, above your understanding, and don't rely on what you ever learned about the Zohar, Lili, or something else. This is a very good way, the attitude to what we are studying. Another thing is, in connection to our study, is that naturally someone who starts Zohar, he wants to read many other books. It's not forbidden. You can do what you want. I don't forbid anything to no one, even to my students who are studying with us several years. Everyone must grow in his own way, but I only try to give the method, and be very careful in choosing the books, because the most books that you buy just in a bookshop are written even on the spiritual matters, even on the Zohar, are written just for everyone who just wants to understand. It doesn't mean that this will bring you to another level. Because our study, what we just started to do, is to transform you into another additional level of your existence. And not just read something to understand. What can you understand? What can we understand just by reading about this water lily? Without a prior study about what is going on here. The Zohar speaks in the language that is dressed with many dresses, and Hasulam gives us the explanations that, as it were, that uncovers, as it were, these dresses one by one, and then we can feel and prove and taste what is written in the Zohar. I mean, the basic text of the Zohar itself. But even so, our wise people, Chachamim, and also Hasulam, it's himself, the commentary of Hasulam, the author of the Hasulam, Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag, says to us and that even just plain reading of the basic text of the Zohar gives us a tremendous light that stays with us forever. And this is also important to know. Then you know that even if you don't understand something, that only by following just with your eyes, not scanning, but just by following with your eyes where the letters whilst I am reading, that you already receiving. Not that it will be after 3 years, 4 years of your study, but immediately. You're already receiving the light. And this is an important item, important fact for you, and this can give you also stimulate you even from the beginning to go on. Further, concerning what the words that I said probably in the last lesson that probably were harsh for you, that you must study also the grammar. It's not probably as you could understand it. What I wanted to say is, you don't actually need to study grammar of Hebrew, because it will take time from you, and studying grammar of Hebrew doesn't mean that it will accelerate your spiritual growth. But still, just look at these words. Try to recognize these letters. And when you have time left after studying your weekly Zohar lesson, just try to read it. Yeah? Just try to read the letters. Doesn't matter the words. Try to combine them as much as possible. I started to learn Hebrew when I was already grown up man. I was above the 20s. And before that, it was not, I didn't touch it because it was, in my country, was it forbidden. And you couldn't find even the books on Hebrew, you could not find them. But now you have everything what you want. You can just read it and learn it in very easy, in an easy way. But just out of the Zohar. You don't need to learn the Hebrew, just everyday Hebrew. And even you don't need to learn the pronunciation. Just as I read in such a way, you just follow the way how I pronounce them. And so in such a way you will learn it. This is the way also as I learned this language. I don't speak this language. Of course I can speak, but I mean it's not as fluent as an Israeli, like let's say. I can manage to say and to conversate, but it doesn't matter for us. For us, this language is the vehicle, the means to come further and further to the true reality. So, doesn't matter where you are staying in your Hebrew knowledge. This is very important item to know about this. And now we are turning back to the page 1 where we started. Rabbi Hiskia. So this is the left column and line 16. So he says, where Rabbi Hiskia patach, and Rabbi Hiskia started Baviur with the explanation of the nukwa, of the feminine part of the Zeir Anpin. 17, to explain the sequence of here appearing, here creation out of the Ima. And Ima is another member of the Holy Family. You can see them as these participants, Zeir Anpin and the Nukwa. This is his feminine part, and the Ima, this is a higher mother, as it were, the mother of the Nukwa. So it's a good way to see all these powers of the operational system of the universe as a family with different relationship with each other. And I think that it's a right time now, a moment, to try to, in very shortly way, to explain you a little bit more about this heavenly family. He told us that there are 10 sfirot: Keter, Chochma, Bina, Tiferet, etc. 10 sfirot. And he told us also that these 10 sfirot, they are actually 5. Yeah, because the fourth one, Zeir Anpin, contains 6. And that's why they are 10, but normally they are only 5. And that's why they also form 5, like he says, partsufim. Partsuf is the singular, and partsufim is the plural of this word. And partsuf means a structure of 10 sfirot. First of all, what is sphera? Sphera is an emanation of light, of spiritual light. It's not the light as we see, or as we see in our material world. We can't even imagine this light. This light, spiritual light, is only we can only experience this light. And you can experience this light that within you, it can be, you can feel that it, you can place it higher, lower, more to the left, more to the right. It's spiritual. And so I will just explain this, try to explain this in few words, if it would be possible, because all the Zohar speaks about this, and everything what exists of these 5 sphirot, sphira. In English they say sephira, but I immediately recommend you to pronounce all the terms in Zohar in the way they are pronounced in the original language. So sphira, and then you say sphirot is the plural. So everything exists out of 5 sphirot. Everything without everything what lives, and what we can say, what lives, what has the existence. All 4 natures, inanimate nature, stones, and others. Then the how do you call it? Vegetative nature, and then the animals, the animal nature, and the human being. All of them, every leaf has, every tree, every part of a tree has also in itself this spiritual DNA, these 5 sphirot.